Hi, my name is Phil Colcord, and I'm president of Fraternal Order of Police Evergreen Lodge 1 here in Kitsap County. And this is our outreach program, where we bring guests aboard to enlighten you, the public, on things that are available to those in need. Today we have the privilege to have the Veterans Advisory Board chairman, and he also is involved, I think, with the Veterans Assistance Program. His name is Mark Lowe. Mark, welcome aboard.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here today.
Tell me a little about yourself.
Been here in Kitsap County since 98 when I got stationed up here with the Navy, and I've been here since the whole time. I retired from the Navy in 2007 as a Master Chief Master at Arms. Went to work for a couple of years at Keyport as a contractor, and then I've been with FEMA for the last 14 years. Federal Emergency Management Agency for the last 14 years. I'm getting ready to leave that and start new work on Monday with the Naval Undersea Warfare Center, Keyport, as the security director there. So I'm looking forward to my actions there.
And your Veterans Advisory Board, that's another hat you wear on top of your employment, right?
Yes, it is another hat. It's a volunteer organization. I'm involved with quite a few different ones. The Veterans Advisory Board is a county volunteer group. Members of the Veterans Advisory Board are appointed by the Kitsap County Commissioners. So we go through a vetting process to determine, we want to find people that are really outgoing and really have the skills to go out in the community and work with veterans, and not just veterans, but other groups that might be supporting veterans as non-veterans. And so the Veterans Advisory Board has a very big overarching mission.
And this is a relatively new for Kitsap County. It started in 2005, I believe, right?
Yes, it did. The actual law went into effect through the RCW, through the state that mandated all counties would have a Veterans Advisory Board, and it would be managed by the county commissioners for that county. Shortly after 2005, I think it was approximately 2006 when the first board was established. We have 17 members. Every one of them has to be honorably discharged veteran. 50% of us have to be involved with other veteran service organizations, such as the VFW, American Legion, which I'm involved with, and many other ones. There's a lot of different organizations, but they have to be involved with those. My first time with the Veterans Advisory Board was from 2010 to 2016. I was part of Combat Veterans International Veterans Motorcycle Organization, and several our members of the VAB at the time were on that. So they said, hey, you might be a good addition to this, and I stepped in. And then my 6 years on that, originally, I spent 3 years as a chair back then. And about a year and a half ago, I put in my name again. There were some vacancies, and I put my name in and was vetted through the process that we go through. And I've been with the Veterans Advisory Board again for a year and a half now. And just in November, I was voted in to be the vice chair.
Okay. And before we get into details about how is the Veterans Assistance Program funded?
The Veterans Assistance Program, what we have is Veteran Assistance Fund, which is underneath the RCW, that a certain percentage of our property taxes here in the county go to fund the Veterans Assistance Fund. I don't remember the exact percentage, but I think it's somewhere around 0.8 or something like that. We receive about I want to say probably around $750,000 to $800,000 a year for funding the Veterans Advisory Fund, Veterans Assistance Fund, the VAF. And it's managed by a couple different avenues there. Kitsap Resource Center, we actually have a staff member down there that's funded that manages some of the outgoings, but we also have other ways to use the funds to help out indigent veterans and homeless veterans.
And tell us about some of the activities that you participate in with the community. And
so one of the big ones we have every year, or actually twice a year, through Kitsap Area Veterans Alliance, CAVA, is the stand downs for veterans. And we have those down on Lebo at the community center down there on Lebo. These are handled April and September usually, and it brings in services like Veterans Administration, local resources like legal services, clothing, food, stuff like that. We bring it in, bring all these people together to help out veterans. They have to meet a certain requirement for certain levels, but like information stuff is open to all veterans. And then we also have free meal for those that are there. That's really one of our biggest impacts. The other one that probably is a bit more showy is the Unforgotten, the Run to Tahoma. And this is where we are organized with a lot different veteran motorcycle organizations to escort the remains of unforgotten veterans. We work very closely with the coroner's office on they try to identify family members to when they have somebody that's deceased. Once they find out they're a veteran and they're unable to locate any type of family, we become their family and escort them to their final resting place in Tahoma. And that's usually the Saturday before Memorial Day. And so we've had anywhere from 125 up to almost 400 motorcycles in attendance. And a lot of people, a lot of flag waving going on Highway 16. And we are usually an escorted run all the way to the cemetery. And it's a very big deal. A lot of planning goes into that, and a lot of safety items too.
Imagine. Now, what sort of assistance do you give to veterans or direct them to?
So we do have grants. We're able to, it's right around $2,000 that we can give a direct assistance grants, and it's usually for like rent. Utilities are probably our two biggest parts of that, but it could also be when they meet the requirements, we can also fund stuff like, okay, they're having problems with getting to work, or they need something to be able to work, such as maybe a certification or something like that. There's quite a bit of flexibility in how those funds can be utilized. And again, they have to meet certain requirements, 175% of the poverty level to meet that cap, so that they can get the funds. If they can't meet our requirements for funding, our person that works for KCR will look at other avenues of support that doesn't have restrictions, and what type of resources that might be able to be direct assistance to them as well.
So you have your own resources that you help supply and give them. Then you also have a storage unit of other places that provide assistance that they can go to.
Now, some organizations don't have caps on
Right.
funding and stuff, so they're able to be more flexible with their spending than we are, because again, we're talking about tax dollars, and we want to be very mindful of how we're spending those dollars and who's receiving those dollars. So it's a screening process for a person coming in that needs the services. And generally, they'll either go directly to our person at KCR, or they'll go see a veteran service officer at one of the different veterans organizations. They'll do a screening and then submit that to KCR, and the KCR will reach out to them.
Kitsap County, I believe there's like 34,000 veterans or more.
There is about 34,000, yes.
And out of that, how many are in need that you're become aware of?
On average, we will review probably between 80 to 200 cases a year. Out of that, the screening process, I don't have the current data because
just a ballpark.
I would say we're probably right around 75 to 80 on an annual basis. Some years fluctuate more than others, and again, it comes down to who's applying that year, what type of, if we can actually meet the requirements, they can meet our requirements and be able to get funding too. And then we have caps on that, and I won't get into that because I don't have that off the top of my head.
That's fine.
Good.
That's fine. How does your board interact with the public?
Our board meetings are open to the local, either in person. We generally have it down at Olympic College, down in the conference room down there, or online through Zoom. And that information is publicized on our website, or you can get on an email distribution and receive it directly from our county representative. So that information is available. We do conduct board business, but we do open up for questions. We generally have, during our meetings, we'll have a guest speaker to come in and talk about different veterans, what they're doing for veterans and how they're helping. The last one was Puget Sound Energy. They came in and talked about their assistance for those that are not just veterans, but others, but the primary focus of the discussion was about veterans and them applying for grants through PSE. So those are some of the interesting things. But then we get into our board, our committees. We have approximately, I think, about 12 different committees that we have for doing different things. One of them is like the Unforgotten Run. Other one's dealing with the our stand downs. Another one would be Veterans Garden. We have a Veterans Garden out there. Those are generally going to be led by somebody from the VAB, but it's open to those that are interested in the community to come in and be part of that. So we're really trying to expand that out there too. We're trying to get more word about the committees and get more involvement from others that are not VAB members.
How involved are you with veterans, widows, or dependent children?
They still meet the requirements underneath our giving and stuff because they were dependents at one time. It depends on, of course, the age of the child and then, of course, the spouse.
Right.
It just, again, they have to meet the same requirements and then have the proof, obviously, that they were, they're still within the system and everything.
And can they go on your website to find out what the requirements are for different categories?
I'm going to say yes off the top of my head. I do believe that information is available there. I think it's also available through KCR, but I would want to check that and double.
Okay. Okay. And I think you touched on this, but Veterans Assistance Fund, it covers rent, utilities, food, and transportation. Are those the main areas?
Yeah, we do. There is other areas that it really comes down to, if somebody's trying to get to, become back, sometimes they're struggling. They're trying to get out of homelessness. They're trying to go back to work. They might need certain things to fund, like a phone, whatever we can meet within our guidelines.
You help to facilitate them recovery.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's good. And,
there are success stories out there. So
well, life's tough, and a lot of people end up in a hole with a shovel, and they need a rope.
Yeah.
So it's good to have you out there for that. What's the biggest challenges facing veterans here in Kitsap County?
Cost of living. Mm-hmm. Cost of living, especially those that are on fixed incomes. They tend to, everything keeps going up. And of course, Social Security, retirement funds, those generally don't keep up. So it's very easy to get behind. Do I pay my rent or do I pay for food? Those are the concerns that come about. And that's where, if they come in and see us and we can see if we can provide services again, but as a veteran, we can as a group, funnel them to another source that could help them as well. It's just not the VAF, Veteran Assistance Fund, and the Veterans Advisory Board. This is looking as a community to support those that are in need. So.
How can the public help in this?
Volunteer. We're always, it's I say that kind of chuckling because it is a hard thing to get people to come out and volunteer. Mm-hmm. What helps is if we can find something that is something they enjoy doing. Maybe it's gardening, or maybe it's helping at the Retzel House, or coming out and meeting veterans, go out and doing the time count of homeless. It's not just the homeless that are non-veterans, but the veterans we're trying to account for too. Working on those. There's so many different ways to volunteer out there, and jumping on a committee with the Veterans Advisory Board would be a big help. Mm-hmm. So. And
you guys have monthly meetings, don't you?
Yes, we do.
And where and when are those, and are they open to the public?
Yeah, Olympic College. We do it at, I want to say 5:30 on the second Wednesday of every month. And I don't have the exact room number, but it's at Olympic College. It's on our website as far as the location and time, and it is open to the public.
Okay, and do you advertise that besides on your website?
Outside, we do have our Facebook page. We do put stuff on that. An email, again, you've got to sign up for the email. And then outside of the website, that's the only way to find it. And of course, stuff like this, where we're talking about
right.
it.
And, that's the main reason for this, is to let those people in need know what's available out there, and so that your phone will be ringing and you'll be getting help. Yes. Because there are a lot of people out there that need help and they don't know what to do or where to go. So.
And I think that's one of the biggest challenges is getting the word out there, especially not everybody has internet access or a phone to be able to get the information. So those are some of the challenges we've had. And it has increased more probably within the last 6 years than any time we've had. So
Do you work with these other organizations that go out to the homeless?
some of our members do. The VAB as a whole probably does not. Again, we kind of get a little bit of, this is my area that I really have an interest in and want to kind of focus on that. Like mine is the Unforgotten Run because I want to make sure the veteran gets escorted. But like one of our members is working on trying to get a home in downtown Bremerton through funding through the Veterans Administration to be able to help veterans directly through housing. Another one would be partnership with, again, Kitsap Area Veterans Alliance, CAVA. Several of us are dual members of both Veterans Advisory Board as well as on the CAVA, so we are involved with the stand down as well. I mean, I don't have my sheet with me, but we have at least 12 different committees dealing with specific areas of helping some of our women issues, education. One of our members is a veteran. She works at Olympic College, so she heads up our college side of that. And there's several other people that are veterans that help her that are not part of the Veterans Advisory Board. So those are the ways to do it. Probably need to make sure that those are on the webpage, and I'll talk to.
If you would, send me an email with those, and I'll make sure they get on our webpage too.
Perfect. That would be perfect.
How does someone apply for funds from your?
Again, they can go to KCR down at their Bremerton office, or they can go to a veteran service officer at one of the veterans organizations. A lot of them have it published when the VSO will be present at their lodges. They don't have to be members of that lodge to be able to utilize that VSO. That when they become a VSO, they're pretty much helping everybody that's a veteran, and that's what part of it. Their training is involved. So it's a matter of looking at their website or calling the lodge and finding out what time or that person would be present, and then bringing appropriate documentation with them. So like the DD 214, maybe a veteran's card or something like that. And then of course, information to help support their claims that I need assistance, this is where I'm at. But we're not asking for paperwork all the time, so.
Okay. Yeah, it's, correct me if I'm wrong, I think 845 8th Street, Bremerton, or 3200 Rainbow Shadow Court in Port Orchard. Two locations that they can go for veteran services through
Those are just two of the locations.
KCR. Yeah.
So.
Okay, great. So, you hear of the homeless people that are veterans, and I don't know if sometimes they get more publicity than others, or if they're more dire than a lot of the others when it comes to problems, with post-traumatic stress syndrome and so forth. So I guess my question is, what do you do with veterans that are homeless that are suffering from post-traumatic stress?
So
do you give them help?
Yeah, so Kitsap County actually has designated a full-time person to go out and work with the homeless situations. Going out, they do the counts, they do the interaction, because they build a rapport with the homeless. And we've met with that gentleman, and he's actually briefed our board on, because he does ask that question about, is a person a veteran or not? And there's different categories of homelessness too. There's those that are actually living in the woods, hiding out from everybody. And then there's those that are maybe living in their car somewhere, or in a motorhome or trailer somewhere. Another one is those that are couch surfing. They're going from relative to relative or friend to friend. And that particular category is probably the one we miss the most in our count. The one out in the woods, the ones living in their car and stuff, those are usually easy to identify. But getting the word out to them that we have services is probably one of our biggest challenges. And by Kitsap County having a full-time person.
I know Kitsap County has been very dedicated to that, through the fire department, through the police department, through all the different outreach services that they provide. through Kitsap Rescue, talked with Doug, and they got like 12 different sub-agencies that are working on taking care of these problems. And
Right.
I'm trying to interview all of them. I've got through a few of them.
Yeah, and we try to keep our fingers involved with every one of those. We do talk with the sheriff's office, local PDs. We don't so much with the fire. We definitely with the courts. We have a mentorship program that we're starting up again with the courts there to try to help veterans that are incarcerated to maybe get them out of that life cycle, and when they're done with their time, be able to provide that mentorship and guidance on where to go and stuff. So we have some people that are very involved with that. But and when we're talking about the homeless, again, same situation. We try to get the word to them, and part of the Kitsap County resources that they go out and they provide that information. Hey, here's an avenue. Contact KCR. I think there's something that they're able to give them, like tokens for the bus or vouchers for the bus, so they can utilize the bus to get down to those services. For veterans, there's also other funding avenues through the Veterans Administration, in addition to what we have, that might actually get them into actual housing and stuff like that if they apply for the programs. And again, there's so many different veterans support organizations out there, charities that are doing different things and providing money for different things. Some might be for rent, some might be for repairs of houses. Like Home Depot and Lowe's, I believe they still have their program where they fund supplies and materials for volunteers to go out and do, put in a ramp or something to a house or help clean up their yard and stuff.
We're running out of time, so anything you'd like to say in closing?
Veterans Advisory Board is, it's veteran driven by the county. We have a great group of young to older people on our board that really are dedicated to helping veterans in this county. My older members, they say this is how they stay young. They say they're there to help, and the younger ones bring it in, help keep them young too. So it's kind of a good circle. We got a great team there. We're here to help. We're here to help.
Yeah.
That's the number.
Clint Eastwood said, "Don't bring the old man in. Don't let the old man in."
Well, we like the old man.
No, but I mean the old men say that,
Oh,
so
yeah.
they don't want the old man to come in.
Yep.
In them.
Got it.
Okay, well, I thank you very much. It was great having you here, and I wish you all the luck and success with that. And if you have two things. One is send me that list, and the other is if you or one of your coworkers would like to have a show here, give me a call and let me know, and we'll set it up. The more we can get out to the public, the more we can generate help.
I think definitely when we're talking about the mentorship program and some of those others, it would be really great to get somebody in here to talk to you.
Yeah, just give me a call. I'll give you my card before we leave, and give me a call. You already have my phone number anyway, though.
Thank you, Phil.
Okay. That concludes our show for today. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and watching this, and we'll have more shows down the road. If you're in need, or you have a loved one that's in need and you don't know what to do, watch our show. We don't have all the solutions, but we have resources that might be able to help. God bless you all. Take care, and we'll see you at the next show.